Well, it's safe to say that my plan is working. We are at the Dove field. This is the sunflower field that I planted about a month ago, and holy smokes, guys, this thing looks fantastic. I threw the drone up in there to get some video, and it looks completely different on the drone view than it does down here on the ground. So we've got tons of sunflowers, but we've also got some weeds, and so I'm gonna spot spray this today and work on some of the grasses. Since these are sunflowers and they're not clear filled sunflowers, I'm not able to use a broadleaf herbicide. So I'm hoping that a lot of these broadleaf weeds get shaded out by the sunflowers and don't cause a huge problem. But we're gonna just take a quick gander over here at all of these sunflowers. Look at this. Now the spacing on these bad boys, not that great. We did broadcast these, and you can see there's kind of strips. As you remember from the previous video, the tractor had a harrow behind it after we put the seed down. To cover it with dirt, we used a harrow, and where the harrow met in the middle, I think it moved some seed there. So we got some thick strips, but even out here in the middle, there's some gaps, which is no big deal. That's fine by me. But for the most part, we got decent coverage. I haven't even walked down to the far end of the field, but it looks, from looking down there, it looks pretty thick. So let's go check that out. But we've got, man, there's sunflowers everywhere. One thing I wanted to look for while I was out here to see if we got any damage from the deer. I was concerned that the deer would pose a risk to the sunflowers. Deer tend to think they're nice little snacks, but it doesn't seem, at this point, I don't see any areas where the plants have been kind of lopped off at the top, which is good. I'm curious to see what's gonna happen with these sunflowers being so spread out in some places and so congested in others. I'm gonna guess the ones that have better spacing are gonna grow to be taller, just a little less competition, but we'll find out. We've got some this one's a dandy. So it's growing nice and tall. 1, 2, 3, 4, probably 6 leaf stage at this point, most of them. So this is actually my first time coming out here to look at the field since I planted it. I've gotten a couple pictures from family members who've come out and checked it out, but this is my first time. So let's go ahead and take a look at this side of the field. It looks pretty good. There's a lot of grass mixed in here, but overall, I mean, we got sunflowers. We got a lot of them. This is very, very, very exciting. Based on the pictures I got from my family members that came out and sent me pictures, I figured this right here would be what the field really looks like, but to my surprise, there's a little bit of broadleaf weeds, but I thought there was gonna be a lot more grass, but the grass seems to really just be around the edges. I was thinking that the whole field was gonna look something like that, but to my surprise, it looks more kind of like that. So a little bit of weeds, some grass, not a whole lot. So when it comes to herbicide, this is what I've got. I've got some Grass Out Max. So there's a lot of research I had to do to figure out herbicides for these sunflowers, the black oil sunflowers. I don't know if I mentioned this in the video, and if you guys didn't tune into the last one, this was a bag of birdseed. So it's not like planting seed. We just grabbed a bag of birdseed from Home Depot and threw it on the ground and it all grew. So herbicide options are pretty limited, and so I had to find something that would only target the grasses, and so this is clethodim, which that is a chemical that only targets grass. So broadleaves will be safe, so the sunflowers will be all right, but all the other broadleaf weeds will also be all right. So we're just gonna take care of the grass and just hope that the sunflowers will eventually shade out whatever else is growing in there, but only time will tell. So let's get to spraying. So there you have it. We have sprayed all of the grasses. Most of the grass in the field is actually just along the edges. I went through the middle. There was really not much for grass out there. There might be a little bit, but nothing like around the edges. Most of the stuff in the middle is a broadleaf weed that looks like this. So hopefully it doesn't get too tall. Hopefully it's just like a little kind of low plant on the ground and get shaded out. But all in all, for this being just a bird seed food plot, like, I am impressed. I think here within the next few weeks, once the plants get a little bigger, a little wider, I think we'll really get to see what's gonna happen with this field. But all in all, that's we've done our work for today. Probably need to come out a few more times and keep up on spraying the grass. The biggest thing with a dove food plot is you want to have clean ground. You want to have dirt exposed. You don't want to have a lot of grass or a lot of weeds, because the doves need to be able to find the food really easily. So the field is looking good. We're going to keep up on those weeds and hopefully be shooting some doves in here this fall. I'm excited. Cora's excited. And we've got some other stuff coming down the line to make this like the dove hunting heaven. So stay tuned. I've got some really neat stuff planned. You guys aren't going to want to miss it. But today, a little boring herbicide video, but nonetheless, still important. And you guys get to see for the first time what the sunflowers are looking like. So pretty exciting. If you guys enjoyed it, leave me a thumbs up. If you're new, hit that subscribe button, and I'll catch you on the next one.